Tonight marks the 25th anniversary of the 1992 First in the Nation New Hampshire primary.
If you ask people who won the Democratic race that year, it's not uncommon to hear them say Bill Clinton. He actually came in second, but that closer than expected finish put him on a path to the White House. Here's a look back at a primary that changed U.S. history a quarter century ago.
It has been a sudden drop for the state that had one of the fastest growing economies in the country during the 1980s. It started when New Hampshire's high-tech industries began losing business. Then the overbuilt real estate market went bust. Property values fell faster than at any time since the Depression.
The whole state was devastated. I mean, we were hit, we had been hit hard. We were looking for survival. We were looking for somebody with some answers.
In 1991, Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas, was a relatively unknown Democrat who came to the Granite State to run for president.
Nobody recognized him at the hotel. Nobody recognized him. So I thought, only I would pick the candidate. You know, he'll finish 18th out of 17 spots. But I liked him. So I said, okay, be happy you know the guy.
I hope that the people of New Hampshire will give me a listen. I'm trying. I think we're gaining ground. But I'm not at all discouraged by the polls. Nobody knows who I am or what I stand for or what I've done yet.
Clinton hit the First in the Nation campaign trail, putting his natural political skills to work.
He never turned away from a person who wanted to shake his hand. He wanted to see the last person going out the door. It was unbelievable how committed he was to the personal interactions.
You can tell that he really cares. It's like you and I talking right now. He has a way of making every single person feel that he is talking to them, and he is.
When Bill Clinton speaks to somebody, he'll grab your hand, and he'll keep holding your hand while he's talking to you. Meanwhile, his eyes are locked on you, and your eyes are locked on him, and that personal connection becomes, very strong.
A few years ago, I signed a bill.
But not everyone was sold right away.
I said to him, well, you're going to have to convince me that this is a two-way street here, It's not just, you guys always blow in here every 4 years and you tell us what we want to hear and you don't even remember our names and you're gone. And that's when he said to me, if you stick with me and help with me, George, I'll never forget the people in New Hampshire, the people who've helped me, and I'll be with you till the last dog dies.
That phrase would come in handy again later in the campaign. Meantime, Clinton had become the front runner in New Hampshire.
I'm the only person running in either party who's got more than a decade of experience in working to get and keep good jobs, educate people, solve social problems, take care of health care needs, and things of that kind. Now, that's why I'm a different kind of Democrat.
I was happy when we went to the first place in the polls, and I was fairly young and naive at in those days, and the national advisors, including George Stephanopoulos and the pollsters, all said, this is not a good thing, being first place in the polls, because that means everybody's going to come after us.
In late January, Clinton was in Claremont to announce a deal connecting a local manufacturer with his own home state retail giant, Walmart.
They then added a third shift to their plant, and that translated into like 50 or 60 new workers. So we would put up signs and we would say everything. Bill Clinton had done more in one visit to Claremont in producing jobs than what George Bush had done in years.
But the headlines that day would be very different.
Yes, I was Bill Clinton's lover for 12 years. And for the past 2 years, I have lied to the press about our relationship to protect him.
Suddenly, a candidate focused on the future was drawn back into the past.
Yesterday, in this exclusive WMUR television interview, Clinton made his first public comments on the infidelity allegations plaguing his campaign.
Nothing was ever turned up until this tabloid went down there and started handing out lots of money, big money.
Have you ever had an extramarital affair, Governor?
Well, if I had, I wouldn't tell you.
He acted like you're at war, like we're in the right, we need to go forward, they're going to throw things at us, and we've got to keep going. And are you with me? And yes, we are. You don't have to worry about us.
As Clinton tried to forge ahead, another scandal broke.
Accusing Republicans of leaking his Selective Service file, Clinton talked about the letter he wrote in 1969.
All I'm saying is that he signed a contract and did not honor it.
Call a guy at the ROTC department at the university, and he'll tell you that I was a troubled young man, probably from his point of view, who opposed the Vietnam War, but I did not do anything wrong.
And at times, Clinton even sounded like a man ready to throw in the towel.
I have to admit, I have loved this.
I said, Governor, can I ask you a question? He said, sure. I said, do you want to be president of the United States? Attorneys, what are you talking about? I said, what you just did back there in Nashville, it was terrible. I've never seen you that bad, sir. If you continue like that, you might as well go home now. Can you imagine saying that? I can't believe I said it, but I did. I was frustrated. He said, well, do you have any ideas? I said, actually, I do, sir. So I handed him the 2-page memo Terry and I had done. And I read it. He handed it back to Hillary and said to Carville and Stephanopoulos, read this damn thing. Why are we doing this stuff? First thing was go to the mall.
Clinton refocused on retail campaigning and connecting with the people of New Hampshire.
So we went and spent half the day on a Saturday at the mall, and people kept coming up to him and saying, Governor, you seem like a good guy to us. We like your ideas. Hang in there. Don't give up. And he took strength from that.
In the campaign's darkest hours, Clinton's New Hampshire team stood firm.
That was very important. I think if any one of the co-chairs or his key supporters had left him, it would have been very injurious. But it didn't happen.
Still, many voters were skeptical. Clinton's local advisors told him he had to ask for a second chance, and he did at the Elks Club in Dover.
I'm going to give you this election back, and if you'll give it to me, I won't be like George Bush. I'll never forget who gave me a second chance, and I'll be there for you till the last dog dies. And I want you to remember it.
I can remember right afterwards, we shook hands at the door, and everybody who left got a chance to see him. And afterwards he said, he goes, how do you think, well, what do you think? And I said, I said, you hit it out of the park.
Clinton maintained a relentless pace through Election Day. When the votes started to come in and it was clear he would finish an unexpectedly strong second, he took the stage looking like a winner.
He came down early, 8:30 or something like that, while the networks were covering the primary, but no real final results were in, and he came down and said,
while the evening is young, and we don't know yet what the final tally will be, I think we know enough to say with some certainty that New Hampshire tonight has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid.
I mean, the roar was incredible. We were delirious.
I think the other people involved in the campaign would say the same thing. One of the proudest things I've done in my life is to support Bill Clinton.
This was our candidate, and we were going to stick with him, and we did. The dog dies story goes two ways. You know, we stayed with him.
As far as that last dog dies thing goes, Clinton returned often to New Hampshire during his administration and gave one of the final speeches of his presidency in Dover.